everyone your attention, please, for a solemn moment as we pause the action to recognize yesterday's passing of boxing legend George Foreman. An Olympic gold medalist and two-time heavyweight champion of the world, Big George became the oldest man to win the heavyweight title at the age of 45. Loved and respected worldwide, not only for his achievements in the boxing ring, but also for his devotion to his faith and family, his endeavors as a successful entrepreneur, boxing analyst, and inspirational preacher. At this time, we ask you to please rise and remain silent as our timekeeper tolls 10 in honor of the Hall of Famer and one of the all-time greats, Big George Foreman. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. May God rest his soul. Well, fans, in the spirit of Big George, who inspired fans around the world, let's now welcome the main event boxers who are looking to build their own legacy in the ring in this, our main event of the evening, the unified WBC and WBO Super Welterweight Championship of the world.
All right, we are set for the main event introductions. From here in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, once again, the dulcet tones of Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Michelob ULTRA Arena here at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, as Premier Boxing Champions presents the PBC Championship Boxing on Prime featured attraction, brought to you by TGB Promotions, Samson Boxing, and Mayweather Promotions, sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. This bout is sanctioned by the WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman and the WBO President Gustavo Olivieri, along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Dallas Hahn, Executive Director Jeff Mullen. Now introducing our three judges scoring from ringside. From New York, Max DeLuca. From Oklahoma, David Sutherland. And from New Jersey, Steve Weisfeld. Introducing our third man in the ring, the referee in charge of the action, Thomas Taylor. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the unified WBC and WBO Super Welterweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, it's prime time! Introducing to you first the challenger on my right, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing black trunks with blue and neon green trim, fighting out of his home of Stamford, Connecticut. He weighed in at a trim and ready 152.6 pounds with a record of 23 wins and 1 defeat. He has 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the challenger. Tonight making his first attempt at a world title, here is the battle-ready southpaw top contender, introducing Chordale Booker. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion, ready to go in the blue corner, wearing blue trunks, fighting out of his home of Coachella, California. He weighed in at a ready 152.8 pounds with a fine record of 21 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. He has 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight he is making the first defense of his title Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the all-action, newly crowned, unified WBC and WBO Super Welterweight Champion of the World, known as the Towering Inferno, introducing Sebastian Fundora. Once again, our referee in charge is Thomas Taylor, now to give instructions.
Okay, coaches, everything under the letters and above is going to be good. Everything white letters underneath here is up is good. Guys, got my instructions in the back. Protect yourselves at all times. Listen to my commands. Touch them up. Back to your corner, gentlemen.
One of the best in the sport, Thomas Taylor, will be overseeing this championship fight. Sebastian Fundora defending his unified 154-pound title for the first time against prohibitive underdog Chordale Booker, who's riding a 6-fight win streak. The loss, like Fundora, came against a southpaw. It came in the first round when he was overwhelmed by Amma Williams. But that was then. This is now. What will we see out of Fundora in the early going? Immediately, the jab. Good start.
Well, to double down on that loss for Booker, that was at 160 pounds,
yes.
But at 154 and below throughout his career, he's 7-0 with 4 KOs.
Great point. Although he's had issues making the weight, although both of them came under 154. What do you make of that, Brian?
That means they're ready for a championship fight.
Abner, do you think, I mean, coming under the weight is saying something?
Yeah, when it is one fighter and the other one comes in heavier, it tells you that the other one's probably dehydrated, but both of them coming in below the weight class, I think they're just physically ready. They're pros.
They're professionals, a championship fight, and when we look at the keys to victory for Fundora, you want to fight tall, stay disciplined, volume, breaks, rhythm, of course. No Mendoza moments. He was knocked out by Brian Mendoza in a shocker of an upset. For Booker, he wants to make it ugly, make it smart, land early, land clean, and of course, when facing Fundora, Abner, you've got to weather the storm of strikes like a parka.
You do, and you're seeing it early from Fundora, jabbing and walking Booker back to the ropes. Again, you gotta weather that if you're Booker. Wait for the right moment and make your punches count.
And it's not that we're asking Fundora to fight boring and get behind that big jab.
No.
It's just that not being in the line of fire goes a long way for a guy who has a great chin, but doesn't always need to rely on it every single fight. Already
throwing 3-1 out, throwing Booker 3-1 is Fundora. A feeling out tactical start to the fight. Booker and Fundora both lefties. There's a right hook, a lead right hook by Booker. And of course we saw Tszyu land the right hand last March against Fundora early in the fight.
He seemed to land it at will early on against Fundora.
And we've seen Fundora, just like Elijah Garcia earlier tonight, who, by the way, wow, escaping with a victory over Terrell Boucher. That's still unbelievable. But in any event, he doesn't move his head off center, and for Fundora, that's the same flaw. He gets hit repeatedly, but shows that he's got a beard, even against Mendoza. That first left hook buckled the knees. It took another right and left to send him crashing to the canvas. And even Lubin.
Indeed, the lights have never been too big for Fundora. Neither has the violence that he typically creates inside the ring. He wants to be a star. He's not afraid to go through hell to get there.
That right hand has been effective for Fundora with the jab and that curling right hook, and now Booker backing up.
I want to see Fundora cut off the ring now. He's following Booker all around the ring. Good jab, but cut off the ring. And once you do that, make sure you throw that left hand.
If Fundora's going to command this distance with his jabs, it's going to be hard for Booker to land enough punches to win these rounds.
Tim Tszyu-like right hand that landed there for Chordale Booker. And again, he's facing the tallest man ever to win a title at 154 pounds in Sebastian Fundora. He being the tallest 154-pound champion ever. Well, he's taller than any other champion in the sport, and he has an 80-inch wingspan. That's tantamount to Alexander Usyk, who's 6'3" and a heavyweight champion. So Sebastian Fundora is not supposed to exist, and yet he does. And he is the man who has half the crown. Terrence Crawford, another belt holder. Murtazaliev, who trounced Tim Tszyu. So right now, Fundora, and of course Jamel Charlo in recess, still the lineal champion. There's so many names.
Lubin.
We have Xander Zayas here tonight. I mean, there's so many people. Keith Thurman, we
Buenos Dias, I can keep going.
Keep going.
That's why it's so deep.
Yeah. But again, Fundora is just an exciting fighter all around. As a boxer, as the aggressor, brawler, whatever.
But there was a chip on his shoulder this time, Abner. We talked about him too. He's getting sick and tired of being asked, about the fact, as he said, he's not a novelty actor. We call them different names. He's a guy who wants to prove that he is the man at 154 pounds. And yes, he's a nice guy, a family man, but in the ring, he's a killer.
Oh, he is. He is. And again, I know what people wanted him to fight as a taller man, uses God-gifted advantages, but all around, he's just an explosive, great fighter.
He just landed his 100th punch.
He fights so exciting. Even when he loses, it's exciting.
And at his best, he puts so much pressure on his opponents with that swarming style.
Yep, he's already crashed the 100-punch throwing mark in this fight, just in round 2. So he's, he throws punches in bunches, relentless pressure. And yet, I'm going to say, Booker doing a pretty good job of not being hit with a lot of these punches either. And referee Taylor warning Fundora.
I think he caught Booker with an elbow.
Yeah, the stats right now, I mean, in terms of percentages, not that high. And, Booker's utilizing movement. We said he was going to be elusive. He's going to utilize the real estate and try to bait Fundora into counter shots. Right now, he's just backing up, not countering.
Yeah, Booker's got to count. Count and wait for Fundora to walk in with that jab. Look how he walks in with his straight, with his head up high. So he's got to counter that Booker, but he's on his back foot. So it's going to be difficult for him to come back with something.
Yeah, and Fundora, Abner mentioned it, Brian, he needs to cut off the ring because he's just following Booker around and Booker's just moving. There's not a lot of sustained action here. The jab from Fundora's landing, but there's that right hand. The right hand counter is always going to be there. Fundora really needs to be cognizant of that. You would think that they would make adjustments in camp.
At some point, you are who you are, and what Fundora is a pressure, all-action fighter who's not going to back down. It looks like a wind gust would knock him over, but he's a sturdy fighter with a great chin.
A walking exclamation point who would hope to end this evening with an exclamation point. We are through 2 rounds of our championship fight in Las Vegas.
Surprise me. Let's go, guys. Gotta go. Coach, gotta go. Sebastian, 3. Chordale. 3. Let's go.
The bell and round number 3. Booker lands 5 jabs per round, nearly double Fundora's average. And even here in the early going through 2 rounds, he has done about that, landing about 5 jabs a round. Although in this fight, Fundora's landing a lot more jabs. He's landing about 7 or 8 a round. So a good start for Fundora in that department.
If Booker is unable to hurt Fundora, he's going to have to outwork him. He's going to have to work behind that jab, throw combinations like he's doing right here.
Yeah, be first. He's got to take that jab away from Fundora. Let his
to the body.
And working the inside. I mean, you get those moments right there. They're free. You get your space. Let those hands go if you're Booker.
Booker continues to move to his right, retreats in the back foot, and Fundora's letting him off the hook, literally here, just following them. Needs to ground. There's those right hands from Booker, blocked by the high peekaboo guard of Fundora. Fundora's already thrown 130 jabs. Landed 17 compared to 12 of 47 for Booker. There's a jab, lands for Fundora.
And that's a good jab right there from Booker. But again, jab and then he steps away. He's got to work his way inside. Stay in there. Body shots, uppercuts, and then turn him.
This is the most active output we've seen so far from Booker. He definitely does not want to be on the ropes as Fundora is literally punching down at him with that big left hand.
Yeah, and that's when Fundora takes advantage. When they start putting their head down like that, he lands that beautiful uppercut, short uppercut from Fundora.
Booker's been in Vegas away from any distractions of home since February 22 from Stamford, Connecticut, home of my former employer, a thriving financial hub just outside New York City. It's better known for hedge funds than haymakers, but Booker wants to stamp his name in the history books as the first Stamford-born boxing champion. What about the first Connecticut-born PBC analyst? How are you handling your...
Pretty good announcer for Connecticut.
Whoa! Yes, you're right. I agree with you. And Booker getting tagged here, Abner, at will. And Fundora looking to put the pressure on. Booker's on the verge of really tasting the pressure of Fundora.
Fundora noticed that he hurt him, that he got him with some nice left hands as the straight and the uppercut as well. Now putting the pressure from Fundora and really pressing on the gas. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That was a great shot from Booker.
That was a big left hand.
Another left hand for Booker, but the counter right by Fundora stops the momentum. Final 10 seconds.
Fundora's bleeding from the nose here.
Third round comes to a close.
Great chemistry on air.
Yeah, a lot of great chemistry right there. And we continue right now with a round that could be tantamount to dropping a sleeve of Mentos into a liter of Coke if Fundora has his ways. A little explosive here in the fourth. Thank you, sir. Oh, but Booker trying to sit down and punches again, and he lands that right because Fundora stands straight up right in front of you. Overhand, he doesn't move his head.
Overhand right, overhand left are going to land at will if you're Booker. You want to continue to throw those shots. Get Fundora's attention.
Booker's trying to make it a fight here. He's got, how much inches does he have to overcome? It's literally trying to climb Everest.
It's only 10 inches of reach, 8.5 inches of height, but I think Booker learned at the end of round 3 when he landed that big overhand left that can be a punch that's there consistently. He's opened this round with a flurry of those, and I think fighting in the trenches, Abner, could favor Booker at times here.
And it did right there just when you called that. He landed a beautiful uppercut in the inside. So yeah, you might want to stay there for a little bit longer, land those shots, and like I said, just step to the side, not going backwards.
Minute gone here in the fourth. In round 3, Fundora threw 104 punches, the highest since he threw 104 against Jorge Cota 6 fights ago. So even more offense from Sebastian Fundora, now going to the body, chopping away at Booker. Midpoint of the fourth, and Fundora beginning to wear down Chordale Booker.
Fundora really getting some leverage on those body shots with that left uppercut, those hooks down low.
Booker trying to use a Philly shell from southpaw. Taylor warning Fundora, hey, I know it wasn't your fault against Tszyu, but watch the elbows, watch the forearms. And it wasn't, right? I mean, Tszyu just leaned in. It was an accident.
It was an accident, exactly. And again, Fundora again pushing back Booker, doing exactly how he fights, pressing,
chopping,
volume punching, and he knows he's going to get caught here and there. But it's just the volume, and he's going to break down Booker. It seems like he's going it right now.
Booker bleeding from the nose once again as the onslaught continues from Fundora.
Oh, double uppercut on the inside. Booker backing up. Booker's hurt. Trying to hold on like the veteran. He goes down here in round 4. How much more can Chordale Booker take from the Towering Inferno? Fundora looking to burn the house down here in Las Vegas.
That's the second time Booker has been down in his career.
The first time was a bad loss, and it's over. Sebastian Fundora takes care of business. He defends the unified 154-pound title for the first time, and he does it by closing the show in the 4th round, closing the book on Chordale Booker.
Did he ever? He closed the range, he closed the distance, he closed the gap, and in the inside, Fundora, like always, doing damage. The uppercut, the straight left. I mean, there's so much power behind those hands from Sebastian Fundora.
The longest,
all around, just perfection.
The longest limbs in the division just shortened his night. Fundora with the 4th round finish. And when we asked him about why he fights like he does, he said, if you saw me fight up close, you'd understand why I do it. His signature combo, a punishing right hook followed by a sharp left uppercut. His sister, Gabriella, undisputed flyweight champion. It's a family affair. They're the first siblings to hold titles simultaneously. Second siblings to win championship, brother and sister, since the Yamanakas in Japan. But Chordale Booker disconsolate, dejected, gave it all he could, but huge underdog for a reason. Sebastian Fundora at the top of his game, and here is how he maintained his hold on the unified gold AM.
We're gonna see the knockdowns here. Beautiful uppercut that he's known by. Short, crisp left uppercut. Not once, not twice, but 3 times that he landed, and he was out on his feet. We're gonna see another look at the knockdown. Setup jab and the uppercut. Again, walking in straight with the uppercut. And he doesn't even have to bend his knees. The power comes from the torque. How he turns the punch. Sebastian Fundora. Beautiful turned uppercut. And Booker, again, trying to be in this fight, trying to hold. But again, it was too much.
We talked about one of the keys for Fundora being volume breaks rhythm, and the volume, over 100 punches thrown through the 3 rounds into the 4th, and then the referee saw enough. Thomas Taylor intervened, saving Booker to fight for another day and giving Sebastian Fundora another impressive win.
Another impressive win for Sebastian Fundora, and he wants the big names now, Mauro. That's what he wanted. He wanted to make a statement tonight, and he did that.
Lots of big names, and I'm sure we'll get into it with Brian Campbell, but for the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, he was like a metronome of mayhem. He timed it perfectly, and speaking of great timing, let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes 51 seconds in round number 4. Our referee in charge, Thomas Taylor, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout, and still the unified WBC and WBO Super Welterweight Champion of the world, the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora.
Sebastian Fundora remains unified 154-pound champion as he records his 14th knockout, and he is standing by with our Brian Campbell.
Sebastian Fundora, long layoff, but you look like you haven't missed a beat. Respectful embrace there between the two fighters. Didn't seem like you had nearly a year off. How good did it feel to shake off the rust and deliver the boom tonight?
I felt ready this whole time. You know, I've been working very, very hard. This past year, we went back into camp back in May last year. After that Tszyu fight, I know there was a misunderstanding of me having a broken nose, but we were working the whole time. And now I successfully defended my 2 titles once now. I just got note that if I defend my WBO 5 times, I could become super champion as well. So, you know, the sky's the limit.
You're, of course, known for your all-action style. I don't think it's possible for you to make a bad fight. But what did tonight prove about your punching power?
I think maybe to the fans that I'm a powerful fighter. You know, I felt always a powerful fighter, but, you know, with this fight, I guess it just showed even more.
You also showed a big jab in the early rounds to outbox Booker. What was the game plan against a much smaller, trickier southpaw?
You know what's funny about this camp? We didn't even have a southpaw in. So it was just catching the footwork. He was moving a lot. I don't think he really wanted to trade at all. And we were just waiting to wear him down. Touched him in the body, I think, the 3rd round, and he started slowing down a lot. So we worked off of that, and it worked out.
I don't have to tell you that this might be the deepest division in all of boxing. You could be the power player with 2 of 4 recognized world titles around your waist. Who does the Towering Inferno want next?
I love to be undisputed champion like my sister, you know, the youngest undisputed champion in the world. But whoever they have for me next, whether it's the IBF champion, the one I think not Spence. Spence as well, but Spence as well.
Bakram.
Yeah, Bakram is the IBF champion. I'd like to fight him as well. We just got told that the WBO mandatory is the Puerto Rican kid Zayas.
Xander Zayas.
Yeah, talented fighter. Whoever. You know, we have 2 belts. We have to defend them. And if anybody's willing to unify, let's do that too.